What's up, fam? Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. Today I have got an exciting video for you. Two things. I don't think I've seen very much information on this knife out there just yet, so I am kind of excited about that because it's not very often that I have the pleasure to be able to be on the forefront, to be one of the first guys to do a video on something. So before anything gets started, a huge thank you to Dave Warren at Tuya USA for sending this out for me to take a look at. So yes, this is a knife that was sent to me, and as you guys know, it's not going to have any bearing in what I have to say. However, if you are aware of Tuya knives at all, you can already guarantee this is going to be a pretty badass knife, and it does not disappoint. I just wanted to get that out of the way first and foremost. So what we've got here is the new Tuya Anzu M390 titanium carbon fiber. Just in case this is your first time seeing one of these videos, so they do come with a nice little leather slip that you can use to store whatever. If you don't have any other storage, it's definitely better than storing it in a box, and I think it looks a lot nicer than those zippered pouches. But the box is of no consequence. Today we're taking a look at the knife itself. So again, this is their latest release. This is a design design collaboration with the Matzi. You guys are probably familiar with him on Instagram. I will have a link down below for his Instagram, for Dave's Instagram, for Tuya. All the links, everything will be down below, as well as my affiliate link for Tuya. So if you guys are wanting to pick up anything from Tuya, just pick something up from Tuya USA. Help support those guys. Dave's a great human being. Let's go ahead and hit up some specs on this thing. So you're looking at just over a 3-inch blade. It's 3.3 inches, 7.8 overall. The website says 3.9 ounces. My scale reads 4.1. My scale, I think, is a little off. I need to calibrate it, but so I'm probably going to say it's right there in the middle at 4 ounces. Mine tends to read just an ounce or so high, so we'll say it's a 4-ounce knife. Close, it doesn't make a difference. Again, M390 is done at 62 Rockwell, so really great job on the heat treat of the M390. That is definitely a sweet spot for that steel. 4 different versions available. This is the blue. As you can kind of see there, you're getting some hints of blue. It's a marble carbon fiber, so it's always going to be a little iffy as far as what's how much color you get in the carbon fiber. This one's pretty good under right lighting and everything. If you guys have seen the pictures of them, that does really look great. We'll see it when we zoom in here in just a minute. But they have the blue, the standard black marble carbon fiber, then they have the green and the red. Again, full titanium, inset liner lock. Your lockup here is stunning, right down Main Street. Let's go ahead and jump into close-ups of this knife. We'll talk a little bit about something that makes this knife special, or one of the things that makes this knife special, and then we'll go into the breakdown of it. I am kind of rushing this video as far as getting it done, just because I did recently get a comment on the unboxing where someone is needing some help with this knife. So we're going to go over that. We're going to do a full disassembly, and we're going to go ahead and see what kind of skits it takes. So anyway, taking a look here, just standard titanium. You do have some nice chamfering. It is not contoured, it is straight-sided, but again, some really nice chamfering and milling. The inlays are done very nicely, perfectly done, no issues there. And there you can kind of see that beautiful navy blue, very understated coloring on this carbon fiber, and you can see it a little better there. But again, just an absolutely beautiful understated color on this thing. Nice little half-length backspacer with a little bit of jimping. It doesn't have an actual purpose, so I'm assuming it's just aesthetics. Really interesting pocket clip, very, very nicely milled, and I've carried this knife quite a bit. It does carry really well in the pocket. Pocket clip works very nicely, doesn't snag or anything like that. Of course, there's nothing for it to snag on because you're looking at a slab side of carbon fiber there, no lock bar cutouts or anything to snag on. Beautiful grind, you see that poking out through there. Again, there's that purple center, but if you notice here, you're also seeing something that the only thing you're seeing is the pivot screw. So there's no actual body hardware on this knife. Again, we'll show that here in just a second. And now this grind is just freaking wicked. I mean, Tuya knows what they are doing with a belt satin like this. Their satins are always stunning, but look at how this grind is done. Just a beautiful drop point with a full swedge, and that grind just is stunning. Very, very minimum billboarding, which you guys can't see it right now. You cannot see it when the knife is open. We'll show it here in just a second. But again, just really, really gorgeous. Plunge grind is a little late, so plunge grind stops about right there. You do have some room for sharpening, but that is a little late. And it's definitely not the worst I've ever seen. But I would, it would be nice to see that plunge grind end immediately, especially if it's something where we don't have a finger choil or anything there. But again, I've definitely seen way worse. Sharpening, as per usual, from Tuya is pretty spot on. Look at that tip, looks good. Take a look at this side. I think it's going to be good. We'll double check that here in just a second. Look at this side sharpening. Straight down the tip here, and that is pretty doggone close. It looks like it might be favoring the clip side just a hair. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, favoring the clip side just a hair. I don't know if you guys can see that as good as I can. It is pretty daggone good, though. That's about as close as you can get to being perfect without being perfect. So definitely a passing score there. Again, there is your lockup. There's that really nice inset liner lock. Really great job on that. There is your front flipper. So here is your logos here. So you have your Tuya logo, which is barely visible when the knife is closed, as well as the designer logo. That's for Matsy there. But once they open, both your logos disappear, and this knife is completely sterile. And there is your body screw. So that's how this knife is held together. You have a single screw that slides down into the back spacer that holds your two sides together. So we'll show that here in just a moment. I'll go ahead and zoom back out here. So yeah, let's go ahead and do some disassembly on this knife, and then we will talk more about the ergonomics and everything of it. That way, if you're here for the disassembly, you can go ahead and get that out of the way sooner rather than later. If you don't care about any of that, go ahead and fast forward to the rest of it so you can hear my thoughts. So let's go ahead, and the first thing you will notice on this is you're not going to be able to use a standard bit driver. So a standard bit driver will not reach down deep enough to get to that screw. So you will have to have a dedicated T6 screwdriver. I prefer the Wera bits. These are the craft something. I can't remember what they call them, but these are my favorite screwdrivers. I think they're the precision on them is really second to none, and I've really never had any issue at all with these bits walking or anything like that. So you want to get in there and you want to make sure you're kind of at that 45-degree angle with that screw. Get a little bit of pressure on it and get that screw broke loose. And the good thing about these screwdrivers as well is the fact that they typically do a really good job of grabbing the screw. They hold on to the screw. It's the type of screwdriver that they are. I cannot remember what they call it, but it's a special type of screwdriver where they are machined with enough tolerance to where they will actually grab the screw itself without being magnetized. So for titanium hardware, things like that, it's definitely a good thing. I'll go ahead and close that blade so it's a little safer for me. Get this pivot screw out here. And let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Crack that blade back open there. So I'm just kind of wiggling a little bit. First time taking any knife apart can be a bit tricky. Things are typically a little tighter. So we'll try to come in here and pry this apart. And there we go. Got that popped loose. And there you can see your piece. This is what holds everything together. Let me go ahead and let me just get this blade off of here so I can get my pivot out and everything. And as you can see, let me get the schmutz out of here. So this one is numbered. I do believe they are all numbered, if I am not mistaken. But this one is etched in with number 179, excuse me. But there's where it's how everything comes together. So it's just as simple as the two pieces. Hopefully you guys can see that. Slide together. And that screw goes in there and holds them in. Really ingenious design. I honestly don't know if this is a new thing or if this is something that's been done before or whatever. But if not, it is really cool, even if it has been done. Either way, again, I think it's absolutely awesome. Let's go ahead and grab some skiffs here. Let's see what we've got. So our pivot is, I believe, 5mm. Yep. So we got a 5mm pivot. See, it will not fit in the 3/16. Will in 5. We're really sloppy in the 6. So 5mm, and it's probably a 5mm 1/16. Yeah, 5mm 1/16. So very standard size. So if you have a packet of skiffs, chances are you have that. It's a 5mm. Again, like I said, 5mm 1/16. I'll go ahead and clean this blade off here. Go ahead and put my pivot back in. Now, typically, I like to disassemble my knives from the pocket clip side. However, this one is keyed on this side, so you can't do that because the pivot is only keyed at the top. So you can only run it one way, which is fine. It's not a huge deal. It's just something that I'm not personally used to. But yeah, let's go ahead and grab our skiffs again. So we are looking at 5mm 1/16. Sure, I've got some. I hope I've still got some. Am I seriously out of skiffs for this thing? Well, I'll be monkey's uncle. I am out of skiffs. I can't even skiff it. Oh well. Doesn't really need it in my opinion, but so you guys know, you can go ahead and do those. Again, 5mm 1/16. I've got the 3/16 1/16, which are too daggum small. Oh well. But yeah, if you guys don't have one of these cheat sheets, it's definitely worth it, so you can keep track of everything. It looks like I am going to be making an order to skiffs here in the next day or so. I'm sure my wife is excited to hear that. But yeah, so we're gonna have to order me some more of those. But let's go ahead and just put this thing together with some fresh oil. And it does have an internal stop pin, which is really nice. I do really like an internal stop pin. Keeps a really clean look on the blade itself, and it also allows for you to make a lot of easy modifications, such as flipper deleting, things like that. You don't have to worry about stop pin location. You also don't have to worry about it for sharpening toils and all that good stuff. So very cool. Great design. Again, I really do like this design. I'm just making sure I'm not forgetting anything. And I've got to line up that pivot and line up this thing here. So the little screws got to get in the right spot. Let's try to line up this pivot. There we go. Got the pivot lined up. Just trying to squeeze everything together. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and pop our pivot back in. I'm not going to crank that down just yet. And then I'm going to double check my alignment there, and everything looks lined up. I don't see any gapping or anything like that. I'm just going to take my screw, insert it down in there. I'm going to go backwards till I hear that click. And I know I'm not going to worry about cross threading. And then we're just going to slide it in there. And being a T6, I'm not going to tighten the heck out of it. Luckily, it doesn't look like they were putting any Loctite on this screw, which is a very good thing. the way the screw is designed or the way that's designed, I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to, now I've got everything good to go, I'm going to go ahead and crank down my pivot. One thing I have noticed with Tuya knives is they're designed very well as far as their machining tolerances, and they don't need to have an adjustment on the pivot. They're kind of one of those ones where if the pivot's tight, the blade is going to freely drop. It's going to be nice and smooth. This would be even smoother on some skiffs. But again, unfortunately, I don't have any. I guess I should have checked that before I did the video, which I think I was planning on doing that. But again, I got a comment. There was a SOS out there. Somebody said they needed some help. So I wanted to get this video done so they could see how to disassemble this thing. Also, again, like I said, it does not hurt to be one of the first to have a video out on a knife. Definitely helps get some traffic. So that's the disassembly part of it. Let's go ahead and talk about the knife itself. So I do really enjoy this design. I think it's a fantastically well done knife. Ergonomically, it is pretty doggone interesting. Or at least I find myself gripping it in a different way than I thought I would looking at it. So looking at the knife, I thought I would have the kind of the traditional grip down here in the finger choil, which you can certainly do that. You've got this kind of cutout here, and your hand just kind of does fall right in there. It kind of gets a 1.5 finger in that choil. And then the pocket clip stays up out of the way. And you've got kind of a more powerful grip here. Now you can certainly choke up and come right up next to that cutting edge right there. Then your middle finger seems to fall right into that hole. And if they're chunky middle fingers like mine, it takes up the whole thing. And then you've got, again, just a really nice, solid work spot here where you can get some close-up, but you still got enough grip on here where you're getting a really powerful cut. No jimping on the back of the knife, which, again, I'm fine with. The jimping from the front flipper disappears. So you don't really feel that at all. The knife is a 90-degree spine, so if you're kind of sensitive to that, that's something to be aware of. It is a fairly sharp 90-degree spine here. So if this was crowned or something like that, I think that might bring more to the overall feel of the knife. But I do think that would take away from the design aesthetic because there's no real round spots on this knife. But just saying as a kind of comfort thing, that doesn't, again, it's not uncomfortable, but you guys know what I'm saying. It is a fairly sharp edge there, and you can certainly feel it. Now that being said, with it being kind of sharp, it is almost grippy, if that makes any sense. To where, I mean, when I'm bearing down on it, it feels like it's kind of catching my thumb. So it almost feels like a simulated jimping. It's really strange. I can't describe it other than that, but that's how it feels to me. Now this thing reverse flicks like money. I can actually thumb flick it if I don't flub it on camera. And like I said, it just reverse flicks so easily. Definitely tuned for that reverse flick, and definitely made for that reverse flick in my opinion. I think that's just where this thing is absolutely money at. Just the knife overall just feels like it was just designed for that. Now it does very easily roll over just like that. Now that jimping, as per usual with Tuya on their front flippers, this is very aggressive jimping. So if you question yourself on this, it's gonna eat that finger up. But if you just commit to it, it rockets out there. It does very well. These types of front flippers, where it's kind of a minimum front flipper, are a little more difficult for me with my thumb, but this one I can do fairly easily. I just kind of have to think about it and make sure that I'm in the right spot to make sure that my hand gets out of the way. But again, this knife is so fidgety with that reverse flick, and it's more of a hydraulic shut, so you don't really have to worry about it dropping on you, guillotining your thumb too bad. And also I do find myself as well, if I'm not paying attention with my finger here, I do find myself kind of stopping the knife from opening or from closing with that finger. So I make sure that I get my finger out of the way. That's another thing you can do as well, is if you want to control that drop, you can have your finger there and just kind of let it slide down slower. But really well done blade in my opinion. Again, I've been singing Tuya's praises for a little while. I think I can't even remember how long it's been since I did the first video on them, but I think I did 3 or 4 of their knives in one video, and it was just, they were all absolutely phenomenal. The Wrath was one of those, and it's a mainstay in my collection. So great job by Tuya on this one. Great design by the Madsy. Just awesome execution in general. And then again, I love the no screw look, or the minimum screw look here. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got on it. Everything's great. You know, the sharpness is phenomenal. You know, I guess I could cut some paper for you guys. Let me just grab a slice of paper here. Slice of paper. Let me grab a piece of paper. Slice of paper. Thinking about pizza again. But I mean, paper slices don't really show much, but you guys can see them. Just try to see if I can get it to shave. So I mean, you can shave paper. So I mean, it's freaking sharp, guys. You know, I mean, golly, it's got a nice bite to the edge. Like I said, nice clean. Not quite mirror polish, which is fine. I like a more toothy edge anyway. M390, I kind of wish they would go back to doing the S90. I think I know why they stepped away from it. I think S90 can be a little chippy, and I think that's why they may have stepped away from doing S90, which again, with M390 at 62, I am perfectly okay with it. It's a fantastic steel. I just think, you know, popularity-wise, they may have gotten a little better attention with picking something. I know as far as the knife folks go, M390 is getting a little old to some people. Personally, I don't care what the steel is as long as it's heat treated properly and I'm paying for that steel. So for the price on this thing, you're looking at $250 on the website right now. Fantastic deal for what you're getting. Again, Tuya has amazing quality and amazing value. So I really can't complain with that whatsoever. Especially for all the you know, kind of the tricks and stuff that you're getting on this. So, all right, guys. Well, that's all I've got for you on this one. Yeah, go buy one if you haven't already. Links down below, or use whatever link you want to use, or use no link. Just pick one up from Tuya USA. Show Dave some love. And again, I appreciate each and every one of you as always. Please remember to be kind, be humble, and be EDC. Y'all take care.